Welcome to this session that will focus on EPC, the guide and the tool. We will start with the presentation of the implementation models and the startup tools for EPC development developed in the project. Then Marte Vadem will present EPC in Aurskog-Høland municipality, focusing especially on starting up EPC and planning for partnership in phase 1, which is the novelty aspect, the main novelty aspect of this new tool. The last part of this session we will dedicate to questions and answers. So you are welcome to make notes on the way, because we will take the questions afterwards. I also posted a message about this now. After we held both presentations, we will answer your questions. But make notes, and you can also write the questions along the way in the message field. And we will read them out afterwards and answer. So, my name is Liv Lindseth. I have been contracted by Inland County Council as an EPC market expert, and I have been leading the EPC tool and the development work since the beginning of this project in 2017. As Marit has described earlier, EPC is a model for implementation of energy efficiency measures with a guaranteed result. In EPC projects, energy savings are used to cover investment costs. Both technical and financial risks are hence outsourced to an energy service company, an ESCO, or also called EPC supplier. EPC is used to implement a high number of energy efficiency measures within a very short time period. It will therefore help reach climate and energy targets at a faster rate and speed compared to the use of in-house public resources, or the way energy efficiency traditionally is implemented. So an EPC project typically goes through these 4 phases. You start up a project, you initiate it in the municipality or other public building owners do. They initiate, and then they get help from an EPC facilitator to draw up the tender documents and so on. And then you move on to the energy analysis phase, where you go through all the buildings and you find possible energy efficiency measures. And this phase is usually done by the ESCO alone before negotiating and contracting the implementation and the guarantee phase. So, and this is where most changes in this new development model, implementation model, lies. The background for further development of EPC is actually documented results. EPC has shown to be a useful tool in the race to reach global engine climate goals in time. It delivers energy saving results at a higher rate and speed, and it secures public investments. And in that respect, the contract guarantee of savings is often the clue. So the overall goal for this tool development in an EFFECT4BUILDINGS is increased use of EPC in public buildings. To do this development work, we have looked into, we have done market research ourselves, but we have also looked into work done by others, research done by others. So in Norway, we have had a look into EPC experiences in Hedmark and Oppland County. Now it's Inland County Council. And 6 EPC municipalities and their experiences was looked into in depth. So we have also looked into a report from Sweden. It was a research of EPC agreements in Sweden, market report on EPC in Europe. And we have also looked into other experiences from the Nordic countries, among others, a report, EPC Nordic report. What we see is that we have 10 to 15 years of experience in the Nordic countries. The Polish market, I would say, is emerging, and EPC is not very well known in Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, but there has been projects. So we have been able to look into some projects. And also there's a Norwegian project that has been running at the same time as the Effect for Building project. It's called a new implementation model for EPC. And it has been a part of the background experiences for Effect for Buildings and vice versa. It was implemented by 3 Norwegian companies and financed from the Norwegian Energy Agency, Enova. So this has been a part of the research. And we have also gone into some real cases in this project. These are real EPC projects that we have been able to map. And I would say the main point of this slide is that all the EPC projects are saving a lot of energy. As you can see, they've had a guarantee of an average of 29% compared to the baseline, the energy use before the project started. And then they have had a saving of 27% in average. Most projects, they reach their guaranteed savings. In some cases, the energy supplier or the EPC supplier or the ESCO has been a little bit too eager to promise and a guarantee, but they all save a lot of energy. I would say that the data for Denmark is especially interesting. They have larger projects, usually longer projects, and the payback time is often more than 20 years, and they have very high investments. The sheer number of buildings gives some indication of the size of these projects. And we have looked especially at Denmark because when we have looked into barriers and success factors, it seems that the projects from Denmark has been more successful than the others. Yeah. So this is all this constitutes the reason why we have found these exact development needs. What do we need to do with the EPC implementation to make it more, to make more municipalities use it? Because of course there are, if it had been super easy, all municipalities would have implemented this. So we will find some specific things that will make more municipalities use it. And what we found was that they should allocate more time to development and follow up of the EPC projects. They should also go for better cooperation and or partnership between client and ESCOs. They should focus on cooperation, interaction, and building trust. They should also equalize differences in expertise between customers and suppliers. This is more often done by, involving someone with the right expertise to help them. They should consider options to lower transaction costs. This is equally important for customers and suppliers so that they don't use too much time in this procurement phase. And important is also the templates and tenders, so that you don't have to start from scratch, but they needed some improvement. The award criteria should better reflect the goals of the building owners, and there should be some improvement of the quality requirements, technical process, cooperation skills, and project management could use some improvement. And also risk analysis, for instance, bank guarantees. What we found is that most suggestions for improvement, they focus on phase 0, before starting the project, the tender phase, and also in phase 1, the analysis of the buildings. Critical choices and decisions are made very early in these projects. Decisions and actions in these early phases, they form the basis for failure and success in the implementation and the guarantee phase of the projects. So the development needs would be that you should improve the tender preparation, improve the cooperation and partnership in phase 1. And to do this, we should have tools and guidelines. So then we come to the results of this project. What have we done? We have developed an EPC guide describing the new implementation model with partnership in phase 1. And we have also developed a guideline for starting up EPC projects, how to start an EPC project. We have made an EPC presentation. It's describing EPC, what is it, and also a training kit. You can pick and choose from this presentation and use it to anchor the projects in your organization and to convince decision makers. And then we have the third types of documents are templates and model documents, contract documents, that kind of things that are adapted for this new implementation model. All these can be found on the website. So the overall description of the new implementation model and the 9 tools is in the guide, Energy Performance Contracting, the Guide to Energy Performance Contracting. And then you have the 9 different tools in the EPC toolbox. As you can see, these are the phases that we have already gone through. So most of these new tools, they focus on the start up of an EPC project and also the energy analysis phase, the phase 1. I will not go through all 9 documents, but I will focus on the ones that are has the most novelty aspects compared to traditional implementation of EPC. And they're all authored and developed for this project, but there are some especially that I would focus on. And the first one that I will focus on is the Guideline for EPC Customers. This is a step-by-step guideline on how to start an EPC project. This is targeted at building owners laying out the first steps of an EPC project and presentation that can be used for introduction of EPC. So it's about what do you have to consider before deciding on EPC. It is a presentation of traditional implementation and the new implementation model. And I would like to, point out right away that it's not a competition. The new model is an alternative. The old model is also the old implementation model is also working very fine in many cases. So it's also pointing out this guideline, the necessary preparation once the decision is made, available tools, templates, and model documents, what type of consultants, advisors that can help you when you want to start a project, what laws and regulations that exists, and also financial options, I would say. So this should, help building owners, municipalities, and others to start. This is a way to start. The next document that I would like to point out is the tender for procurement of EPC supplier. It is a template, so it's important to stress that it must be adapted to each project. But what is different from traditional tenders for EPC is that it contains pre-qualification of bidders. We have pointed out some new award criteria and the weight of those, improved quality requirements. We suggest that in the tender that you have example buildings so that the bidders deliver a bid analysis of 1, 2, or 3 buildings that are representative. And when this example buildings, the analysis of the example buildings, they should be passed on to measures in the same category for the remaining building portfolio in the municipality. And it is of course adapted for partnership in phase 1 analysis. All these templates and tools and that we have made, they come with an instruction for use, disclaimer also, but information will be put in the margins where you have to adapt this project for your exact project. So, and also it should be verified by National Legal Counsel or a lawyer in each country. So, partnership is the main novelty aspect. And what is partnership? A partnership contract is a phase-divided contract. The partnership has a common development phase, the phase 1, before a turnkey contract for implementation is entered into. So in this case, the municipality or the building owners, they do this phase together with the ESCO, the EPC supplier. So this is a cooperation phase. It's not the ESCO doing it alone. It's the two of them doing it together. They agree on goals, prioritizing, reduce insecurity. They achieve mutual understanding for the delivery of measures, and there is agreement at the end for concrete solutions and technical product choices. And for this, we have in this project a partnership contract for phase 1 analysis. So they will actually enter into a signed agreement to actively contribute to a positive, constructive, and solution-oriented work relation. They use the open book principle for phase 1. All relevant documents will then be available for both parties, also prices. This will result in a complete project development report with a unified fixed price and completion deadline for the project. And this will replace the need for a negotiation at the end of phase 1, because the partners are then hopefully already agreeing on the project development. So there are several options for EPC for implementing EPC. We are not, as I said, launching a competition between the two, the new and the traditional model. They can both be a good option once you know, you get knowledge of the differences. So you can choose alternative 1, partnership in phase 1, and you can choose alternative 2, traditional implementation, or you could actually mix the two. Both a traditional implementation, but you bring in the improvements that we really believe will work. Yes. And to sum this up, it ends up being about human relations. The parties will have to wish each other well and demonstrate trust. The speed of trust, that's an expression. And I believe that is the backbone of every relationship, also business relationship, and most certainly EPC projects. Thank you very much for your attention. Feel free to contact me for any questions or comments. And now I will give the floor to Marte, who will, I'm looking for her presentation now. So I will probably have to close that. And Marte will present EPC in Aurskog-Høland municipality.
Yes.
Oh, here it is. Marte, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Marte P. Vadem. I'm a project manager in Asplan and contracted as the EPC Facilitator in EPC in Aurskog-Høland municipality. This is a project that is in the early phases, and hence I will talk about the background and startup of this EPC project, closely connected to the new guide and tools presented by Liv just now. The project is a part of an overall strategic emphasis on climate adaptation in the Aurskog-Høland municipality. Next. About Aurskog-Høland municipality, it's 17 to 18,000 inhabitants and growing, just above the average of a Norwegian municipality. In addition, they have almost 1,200 cottages and spare time houses. The most important industries are agriculture and forestry. In addition, there is some industry. The municipality is a large commuter municipality, and very many of the inhabitants commute out of the municipality, and especially towards Lillestrøm and Oslo. The municipality owns and operates 36 buildings, schools, kindergartens, nursing homes, and city hall. It's about 90,000 square meters, and the year of construction is from 1950 to 2020. 6.5 gigawatt hour in measured consumption in 2019. Next. Aurskog-Høland municipality has ambitious climate targets. They will reduce climate gas emission from own operations by 40% within 2030. And new municipal buildings must have at least 40% less emissions than corresponding standard buildings. Energy consumptions in older municipal buildings will be reduced by at least 30% by 2030. Next. In addition to the climate plan itself, the municipality has also drawn up an action plan. This shows that climate measures what climate measures we are going to implement in the time ahead. It's written in line with the municipality's vision, where 1, climate adaptation, 2, preservation of nature, and a green first strategy. It's among the main targets. The climate action plan includes a tangible statement on EPC. Aurskog-Høland municipality shall investigate the possibilities within and then consider starting a project of EPC applicable to municipal buildings. Along the same time, in 2018, the country council launched a financial support scheme for municipalities that will start up EPC projects with a deadline for startup in June 2020. Next. This picture and these bars charts have been an eye-opener for the municipality. As you can see, there are very little they can do about the consumption they are directly responsible for. Where we really have a lot to gain is in reducing our electric consumption. The main point of doing something with this consumption is that it's possible, it's good for the environment, and it's also saved money. For the municipality, this became a no-brainer. So, what did they do? They considered an EPC project. They had money to start up, and they were in a hurry due to the deadline to use the startup money, but also to reach climate targets in time. They felt they did not have the skills to move on. So the result, according to Jan Arvid Svendsen, the building manager, was to get help from someone with this expertise. Next. Starting up an EPC project. Important to acquire knowledge and find out where to get hold of what they needed. Participate in seminars and conferences and contacted market experts. Gain knowledge about the new implementation model. Ensuring in own organization, it's hard to start a project where people you need to be involved don't feel the necessary ownership. With guidelines and templates, it's not necessary to start from scratch. It's important to get assistance from someone with the right expertise, as they realized this was not something they had in-house. I believe the new developed tools and instruments like Guideline for starting up an EPC project and the tender and contract templates can make it easier for municipalities to start up EPC projects. Next. About the new implementation model, focus on maturing in own organization and politically, and cooperation in project developed, as well as other improvements to better fit the building owner's main goals. The agreed package of measures project developed report will substitute the negotiation before entering into phase 2 implementation. The Norwegian standard for EPC and S6430 will be the basis for this project. There have been successful EPC projects with contract-based partnership in phase 1 in Denmark, but this will be the first public EPC project using the new implementation model in Norway. Next. Okay, I'm sorry. The key figures in EPC Aurskog-Høland community, Aurskog-Høland municipality, it's 60,000 square meters, it's 30 buildings, and 10 to 12 gigawatt hour energy use. They are about to use about 20 to 30 million Norwegian kroners, and contract. It's based on contract-based partnership in phase 1. The phase 1 will start in autumn 2021, or summer or autumn, and phase 2 after that. Yes, next. We did a mapping of interest for EPC among energy service companies. They have all been active, and some have running EPC projects in public sector. The mapping was focusing on EPC in public sector and in Aurskog-Høland municipality in particular. Common for all these ESCOs are prior projects with documented results. Nevertheless, the EPC project has gone through some difficulties over the past few years. According to the suppliers, many of the projects has not been profitable for them, only for the municipalities. They also consider the risks too big and one-sided. For these and other reasons, there has been a problem getting ESCOs to make a bid on Norwegian EPC tenders. Some of the latest tenders have received 1 or 2 bids only. Then we interviewed 8 suppliers, and 2 to 3 active and expressive interests, and 1 new supplier, positive and expressing interest, and 4 former suppliers not interested in new projects in public sector. The lack of interest from the 4 former suppliers was just for the public sector. They could all report of good, profitable projects in the private sector. Some also expressing that it was a pity for the public EPC market was not thriving. After presenting Aurskog-Høland community project with new implementation model, it was a clear shift of interest among all ESCOs. They were very positive to new model. 3 confirmed they would deliver a bid. 2 said they would most likely deliver a bid, and the rest would follow the tender process and consider delivering a bid. Next. EPC is like triple win or a Kinder Surprise. It's good for the climate, good for the economy, and good for operations and maintenance. There have been successful EPC projects with a contract-based partnership in phase 1 in Denmark, but this will be the first public EPC project using the new implementation model in Norway. We know there are great saving potential. We know there is ambitious climate targets. Hopefully, this project will lay the foundation for more public projects. There are at least 4 to 5 new municipal EPC projects in the loop. Both public building owners and ESCOs are following this project closely and hope it will be successful. I will certainly do my best. Yes, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Marte.
Hello, Liv and Marte. Thank you for your good presentation of the new improved EPC model, Liv, and Marte for an interesting plan of Aurskog-Høland municipality. So far, it's no questions in the chat, so maybe we will wait a few seconds if anyone have anything to ask about.
You could also raise your hand in the message field if you have something to comment or you have questions. You can ask any question about the new implementation model, the EPC tools, or you could ask questions to the EPC Facilitator for Aurskog-Høland, Marte. I can see someone is typing, so.
Yeah, a question is up in the chat. It's for Marte. Can you say something in general on the profitability of the EPC project in the municipality?
I don't have any numbers yet. We're in the beginning of the project, phase 0. So yes, I can say that. No, not right now.
Okay. And then Thea Marie Mørk has a question. Could you explain the open book principle in more detail, Liv? How do the ESCO make their profit with this model?
Oh, I know that Marte can help me with this one. The open book principle. I can say in general that an open book means that all documents and also prices are available for both parties. And when they close the books, then you have a turnkey enterprise in phase 2. Could you say something about the profitability? Will it change at all for the ESCOs in this model, Marte?
The open book does it more. It's the ESCOs can earn about, if we agree about the percent, like 15% of gain in the project. Like it's more forutsigbart.
Yeah. Yes. Markup, 15% markup, for instance, it would be more predictable.
Yes, predictable. So therefore they are earning money on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are not taking the same risks as they have done earlier.
Yeah, so it's safer for both parties.
Yes.
More questions?
Oh, I can't see any more, so I think we're done, maybe.
You can also, yeah.
Someone is typing, Theo. Are there national versions of the new model documents adapted to local conditions?
That is a very good question. I can say that they are all available in English in the EFFECT4BUILDINGS.SA webpage. They are also available in Norwegian. So they are all translated and adapted to Norwegian conditions. I know that more of the partners are considering translating them into their own language. I know that the Finnish partner has translated the Norwegian standard, the general standard for EPC projects, to Finnish. If any of them are present now, they could raise their hand and say something more about that. But on the international webpage, EFFECT4BUILDINGS.SA, you will find the EPC tool and what countries they are translated into. National languages they are translated into. You can also contact Marte or me or Inland County Council. On the Inland County Council website, there are all the tools in Norwegian and English. And you can contact us for any comments or questions, or we will send you the documents if you want to. Annette, should we wrap it up?
Someone else is typing, but no. Someone is typing, but so we can wait some seconds.
Of course. I didn't see that.
No, I don't. It's no more. Ah, here it comes.
Ah, there it is.
Hi, in the plenary session was mentioned a rate of success of 96% against the traditional instruments. Were those instruments the old EPC contracts?
Yes, they were. This is a research or a mapping done by the Norwegian Energy Agency, Enova. So Marit was mentioning a mapping done of a lot of EPC projects implemented in Norway, where these percentages came up. They were implemented with the traditional model. So there were a lot of EPC projects in Norway from 2010 to 2016, 17, and then it was slowing up after that. And that's only natural. Some of the problems, they come, they are discovered in the guarantee phase of projects. So that was why we had some development needs. Yes, it is. It is a huge result. It shows that you get more energy efficiency measures implemented in a lot shorter time period using EPC than using traditional energy efficiency measures in-house. You know, when the municipalities were implementing EPC projects, building by building, measure by measure, it took longer time, and sometimes it didn't happen, even though the analysis were made. But in EPC, it really happened. We have the charts for these research that was done by the Norwegian Energy Efficiency, the Norwegian Energy Agency, Enova. We have those charts, so if you contact me, we can send you the charts and the results. Here are my contact details if you need them.